So good morning, everybody. I'm so happy you made it to your mat this morning. It's so nice to see everyone's face, and I'm so happy that we are together again, and I'm hoping that this can be something we'll do every Wednesday. So thank you for coming. I really do appreciate your attendance and hope it turns out to be something that is very helpful for your health, your spiritual health, your well-being. If you have glasses on, you may want to take them off because it is very helpful if you have your eyes closed. You don't need to be reading information. I do. So I sometimes have them on my neck, or I'll grab them real quick. This is going to be predominantly a yin practice, which focuses on adding a little bit of stress to the bones, the ligaments, the tendons. And so we'll be in those positions once we start our yin practice for at least 3 minutes. You'll see me with my phone. I'm not reading text messages. I'm actually just timing us to make sure I give equal time on both sides. So I'd like us to close our eyes, find a nice, comfortable seated position, aligning to the curves of your own spine, shoulders back and down, crown of the head reaching for the sky, base of the spine pushing into the earth. Knitting belly button to spine. Finding your own breath here. Palms can be face down on your knees or face up. Taking a moment to find some stillness, to find some peace, and do the inner work that we need to do today. Bringing your hands together at heart center, Anjali Mudra offering seal. We will chant together one chant of Om, inhaling to chant. Om. Hands come back down to the knees, palms face up or palms face down. We'll begin today's practice with pranayama, which is breathing. We will breathe in through the nose for 3 counts, hold, breathe out through the nose for 4 counts, and hold out. So I will count for us. Inhale, 3, 2, 1, hold, exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Inhale, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Inhale, 3, 2, 1, hold. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Inhale, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Inhale, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold out. Find your own breath. Finding calmness and steadiness within your own body. So opening your eyes gently, bring the palms of your hands behind you or your fingertips. Lift your heart forward, look up towards the sky. Take 2 deep breaths here. On your next exhale, come forward, plant your left palm on your mat. Reach your right arm up and over, pushing into the mat. Get a nice, good side stretch. Shoulders back and down. Inhale. Center. Right arm comes down, palm to the mat. Left arm comes up and over. Shoulders back and down, away from the ears. Inhale, center. Palms come back down. Hands behind your back, on your fingertips, come forward. Sitting with your knees bent, bring your hips to your heels so that you're sitting like this. If that is painful for you, you can bring a blanket so it's under your knees and it will be less painful for your knees. Some people like them under their heels, under their ankles, but that's a little difficult. So we're going to practice, and I haven't done this in a while, so be patient, please. We're going to practice just a few things for the wrists. So the first being, we're going to place our palms down. Fingertips are going to come back towards our knees. Now, if this is too intense for you, so you're up on your knees, you can put your hands sideways, but really you'll want to have them, for the most effect, having your fingertips pointing towards your knees or towards your feet. So you're up on your hands this way. Very slowly, we're going to inhale. Exhale, begin bringing your hips slowly towards your heels, keeping your wrists, your palms on the mat. When you get to the point where you can no longer keep them there, slowly, slowly let them roll up so that you're going towards your finger knuckles, and gently lift your fingers off the mat. Shake them out. We're going to do this the opposite way. So now we're putting the top of our hand on the mat. Same thing, we're on our knees, knees hip distance apart. Splay your fingers, spread your fingers wide. And just staying here may be enough intensity for you, and if it is, stay here. Inhale deeply. As you exhale, slowly begin to bring your hips toward your heels. This is a bit more intense, but keep your fingers down until it's too much for you, and then slowly, very, very slowly, let them come off the mat. And gently shake them out. With your left arm extended, open your palm out. If you can see, I might scoot in a little bit closer so that you can see this better. Palm comes out. Grab the pinky finger with your other fingers. Pull it out and bring it down. Ring finger, pull out and bring it down. Middle finger, grab it, pull out, straight forward, bring it down. Pointer finger, pull out, bring it down. And thumb, grab the thumb as it is, and pull the thumb back towards your arm. 3, 2, 1. Gently release, shake it out. Extend your opposite hand forward, grab the pinky, pull it straight forward. As you exhale, pull it down. Release, grab the ring finger, pull it out, and stretch it down as you exhale. Ring finger, inhale, pull it out. Exhale, stretch it down. Inhale, grab the pointer finger, stretch it out. Pull it down. Release, grab the thumb and pull the thumb back towards your forearm. Inhale, exhale, release, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. So hopefully that was a bit helpful. You might find that you want to do this a little bit more. If that was helpful to you, I hope that that was, and you can practice that at home. So now going back to our practice. So we're going to do a little bit more of an opening. So we're in staff pose. Staff pose is where your legs are straight out in front of you. Toes are curled to the nose. With your fingertips behind you, just push into your mat and then push your heels into your mat as well. And get as straight as you can. Inhale, exhale, release. Bend your right knee. Bring your right foot over your left knee. With your left arm, wrap it around your right leg, sitting nice and tall, string on the top of your head, moving towards the heaven, base of the spine, grounded. Right hand comes behind you. Take an inhale. As you exhale, begin twisting from the belly button, ribs, chest, shoulders, neck, head. Inhale, exhale, come back to center. Inhale, remove your right knee, stretch out that right leg. Opposite side, bend the left leg. Inhale, bring the left leg over the right leg. Right arm wraps around your left leg. Inhale. Left arm comes behind on your fingertips. As you exhale, begin twisting from the belly button to the ribs, chest, shoulders, neck, and eyes. Inhale, back to center. Unwrap, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. One more on this side. So bending the right knee, crossing the right leg over. See if you can stack your right knee over top of your left knee. If you can't, and this is just intense enough for you with your left foot flexed, stay here. If you can stack, that's great. You'll get a stretch in the back of the leg and also maybe in your IT band. So stay here and slowly just let your head, using your fingers, sort of walking yourself forward, let your head drop down. And we're here for just a few breaths. Inhale. As you exhale, use your fingertips to bring you back to tall seated. Unwrap your right leg from over your left. Inhale. Exhale, bend the left knee, stack the left knee over the right one if that is available to you. If not, find a position that's comfortable, sitting nice and tall. Inhale. As you exhale, fingertips come to your mat. Begin lowering your head, walking yourself forward. We're going to be here for just a few breaths. This can feel very intense under the knee, the back of the leg, and the side of the leg that's crossed over. Inhale. As you exhale, cat paw your way backwards with your fingers. Slowly, slowly come to a tall seat. Inhale and unwrap your left leg. Straighten it out in front of you. Lean back with your arms, palms on the mat, and shake out your legs. Maybe pedal back and forth, up and down with your knees. Maybe windshield wipe opposite directions with your legs. So from here, we're going to begin our Yin practice. So we're in these positions for 3 minutes. So come to seated. You were in staff pose. I changed positions so you could see me, but you don't need to do that. So bending the knees, let your knees fall open and the soles of your feet come to touch. You can have this out in front of you. You can have it closer to you. You have to find a position that is comfortable for you. You may prefer to sit on a blanket, to raise your hips, and that's fine too. Find what's comfortable for you. Some people like to use a bolster as well because we're going to fold over. That is totally up to you. So when you use props, that's to assist you, and that's to bring the floor to you so that you are not stressing and causing pain in parts of your body that you are just not ready to use yet. You'll get there, but you're not ready. So soles of feet together, fingertips come down on the mat in front of you. Inhale. As you exhale, you're going to slowly lower yourself down. Head is bending towards your feet. If you need a block, you can place your head on a block as well. So find a position that is comfortable for you, props if you need them. And here we're just letting the weight of our head help us to find that deep stretch in the low back. If you're inside the groin muscles of your legs are hurting too much, you can also place blankets under your knees to bring your knees higher. There are many things you can do. So sometimes when we're in these positions before we go in for a long stretch, you have to prepare yourself based on your own body. So for me, I keep my palms up so that I'm not pushing into the mat in front of me. So find your own breath here. Relaxing. Letting go of the neck and the jaw, the shoulders. Letting go of any tension in the low back. With each exhale, release and let go a little bit more. Whatever you're holding on to, let it go. As you release, and on every inhale, you're bringing oxygen and energy to every cell of your body. And with every thought of love that you have, and positiveness, and good things, you bring that to your cells also. Remembering to breathe in and out through the nose. Finding stillness. Letting go. Let gravity just take you where it wants to. So preparing to come out of this pose, take a nice deep inhale. As you exhale, slowly, ever so slowly, with your chin tucked to your chest, begin to backwards cat paw your way up to seated. Bring your right hand behind you and your left hand behind you on your fingertips or flat palm. Lower yourself back. Push into the soles of your feet and slowly bring your knees together. Gently rock your knees back and forth. We're going to move into side saddle. So knees are bent. Take your right leg, stretch it out. Take your left leg, the sole of your left foot, bring it in to your thigh, to the groin area, or farther out. It doesn't have to be touching your leg. If you can do that, that's great. Also, if you need to have a blanket to sit on, if that's more comfortable, that's fine. We're going to be doing a deep stretch for the back of our leg, but it also can affect the groin. So inhale. As you exhale, twist your body over to the right. Inhale. As you exhale, again, very gently begin to fold down over towards your knee. This is going to feel a side stretch, rather intense on the opposite side, so your left side. Again, find that space where there's just the right amount of tension for you. So in yoga, we speak to coming to your edge. And on a scale of 1 to 10, that edge should be about a 4. Because the longer you are in this position, the deeper the stretch becomes naturally because of gravity. So breathing in and out through the nose. And today we really did not set an intention for our practice, but I did that rather intentionally because I was very moved again by Cindy's sermon on Sunday. And I wanted to take this time for us to explore the concept and the sensation of wilderness. So what did that wilderness look like for 40 days and 40 nights? And what does our own personal wilderness look like for us? Maybe we have friends that we know are really lonely. Maybe they're suffering. Maybe we can identify with that and send prayers and positive energy and love to those who are alone and suffering because of it. So sitting in stillness and in silence in this yin pose, consider for yourself the wilderness. Breathing in and out through the nose, and letting go. And your shoulders relaxed, and your jaw relaxed. We have just a few more breaths here. So to come out of this pose, we want to come out very slowly. So inhaling through the nose, exhale, push into the mat with your fingertips or your palms, slowly, slowly. Bring yourself back to center. Your body is still facing your right knee. Coming back to center, growing tall. Inhale as you exhale. Twist your body back to center. Bring your left hand out to touch the mat beside you. As you inhale, begin to lift up your right arm over your head, push into your left palm and come up on your knee. This will give you a nice counter stretch. Inhale here. Exhale, slowly lower back down. Changing sides, lean back on your palms, switch legs. So left leg goes out, toes are curled to the nose. Right knee is bent, right sole of the foot comes in to the thigh or out farther if you need it to. If you need or would like to sit on a blanket, do that. Remember, you can have a prop to place your head on when we get to that point. So inhale here, nice and tall. Exhale, begin twisting towards your left knee. Inhale. As you exhale, slowly lower yourself down. Just let your head melt toward your knee. Walking the palms or the fingertips wherever you would like them to come to rest. And begin to relax and let go. Really getting a nice side stretch on the opposite side. You can unflex the foot of your left leg. Being ever so mindful that your jaw is relaxed, your neck, your head. Again, the concept of wilderness. Finding stillness, being in the moment. Breathing in and out through the nose. Creating space in your body for health, for flexibility, for endurance. Creating space in your body for love and loving kindness. And in this time of Yin challenge, maybe you can send love and light to others in your life who you know are struggling. And preparing to come out of this pose, take a nice deep inhale in the belly. As you exhale, press into your fingertips, remain facing your knee as you bring yourself up to a tall seated posture. Inhale here. As you exhale, slowly allow your torso to come back to center. Preparing for our counter pose and wild thing. Inhale here. As you exhale, drop your right hand to the mat, left arm comes up and over, rise up onto your left knee and take a nice deep side stretch. And we're here for 3, 2, 1, inhale. Exhale, left arm comes back over, coming back to center. Hands come behind you, bringing legs back to center. Inhale here. As you exhale, find another seated posture, nice and tall. Inhale. As you exhale, send both legs wide. So now we're in full saddle. So in full saddle, you can stay with your torso straight up, with feet flexed. That might be enough stretch for you and enough tension for you. If your knees are hurting, you can put blocks under your knees. That will relieve some tension. For some people, they like to have bolsters. This one's a little high, but they like to have bolsters or pillows so that they can fold down. Again, this is a stretch for the back. But if it's too tense or too much for your inner thighs or the backs of your legs, then it's a good idea to get some props. So inhaling here, as we exhale, bring the hands in front of you and slowly begin to walk forward and lower your head down. Again, props might be really helpful. You might find that this prop on a block is really helpful so that you can relax and get a deep stretch in the middle thigh. However, if you allow yourself to go out a little bit more and down, you'll find a little bit of stretch more in the back. For most people, this affects your inner thigh, the groin area. So we're here for just about 3 minutes, maybe a little less than 3 minutes. So inhaling deeply, and this can be very intense. So while we're in this position, as you breathe in and out through the nose, allowing gravity to help you, I want you to consider a quote that I have that I love. I love Richard Rohr from the 8 Core Principles. And he talks about liminal space and space where we're on the edge. So liminal space relates to a transitional or initial stage of a process. It occupies a position on, at, both sides of, and a boundary or threshold. So the quote is, "The edge of things is a liminal space, a very sacred place where guardian angels are especially available and needed." So when we're on the edge of our yin yoga pose, we may definitely feel like we need some guardian angels. But the spiritual aspect of his quote is also very interesting. And I quote here, "To take your position on the spiritual edge of things is to learn how to move safely in and out, back and forth, across and return. It is a prophetic position." So in the wildernesses of our lives, what does that edge look like, and where does that edge take us? You know, the edge in yoga is just a metaphor for our lives. And we do have to pay attention to it because we can really hurt ourselves if we're not mindful of where that edge is. If we go too far beyond, we will sustain an injury. However, if we're afraid of going to that edge, that place where it's just a little bit uncomfortable, there won't be any growth physically. And that translates into our personal lives and our spiritual life as well. So allow yourself just a few more breaths here. Take one last nice deep inhale. As you exhale, plant your palms, push them gently into the mat in front of you. Slowly cat paw your way back to seated. The base of the spine pushing into the ground, the top of the head rising to the heavens. Take a moment here for a few breaths. To release the pose, place your hands behind you. Slowly walk your hands out behind you. Bend the knees, and you can either walk your feet towards one another, or you can pull your knees together and then walk your feet towards one another, however you like. Stretch first your right leg out in front of you and then your left leg out in front, and gently flap them back and forth. Let your feet be very, very loose. It's kind of fun. I like it. Okay, bending both knees. Come back to seated. Push into your hands behind you. Roll up on your knees and come to tabletop. Let me check my time. Oh, we're good. So in tabletop, we're going to do a shoulder stretch. So palms are beneath the shoulders, knees directly underneath the hips. Inhale. As you exhale, bring your left arm underneath your right arm, palm facing up. Slowly lower your head and your cheek to the mat, palms pushing into the ground. Hips are stacked over the knees. If you want a deeper shoulder stretch, bring your hips slowly towards your heels and maybe bring your arm that's underneath, threaded underneath, a little bit farther out. Right arm stretches out in front of you, pushing into the mat, or you can cross it over to the opposite side of the mat. Now we're here for 3 minutes. And this is quite a long time, so breathing in and out through the nose. You can finally relax that shoulder. Maybe applying just a little bit of tension so that you can get a deep stretch. You can bring your hips back towards your heels if that gives you a better stretch. In and out through the nose, finding your edge. Allowing yourself to totally relax here. If you're noticing your breath changing, that maybe it's not quite as relaxed as it has been, that is a very good indication that maybe this is too intense for you, or that some other part of your body, maybe other than your shoulders, is experiencing a little more stress than it needs to. So it's okay when you're in yin poses, you think you might be where your edge is and you're fine, and then all of a sudden you're here for a minute and you think, yeah, maybe I need to move, maybe something needs to change. Then be sure to change that. This is about you and your body and your yoga. So do what is right for you. Your body will tell you what it needs. It always does. So on your next exhale, bring your right arm under your right shoulder. Inhale. Exhale, push into your palm and come back to tabletop. I'm going to switch sides. So we were there for just a little less than 3 minutes. Same thing, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Take a moment here for just a few breaths before we go to the other side. Flat back, tabletop pose. Inhaling. So inhale here. As you exhale, lower and thread your right arm through your left arm. Bring your head and your cheek down to the mat. Hips are stacked over the knees. Left arm can be stretched out in front of you. You can pull your right arm palm up a little bit farther out to thread the needle even farther. If you want a little bit more sensation, bring the hips towards the heels.
That allows for deeper stretch in the shoulder blades. You can also move your left hand over to the far side of the mat. Again, this is a little bit more intense. And some days it feels good, and some days it feels like it's too much. You find what is right for you. So stay here, breathing in and out through the nose. Finding deep breaths in your belly and releasing as you exhale. Even though we're all on Zoom together, we may still be experiencing a type of wilderness. And what does that feel like for you? And can you be okay with that? Can you embrace it? And can you just be knowing that nothing changes unless there is an edge that we need to experience? Transformations happen all the time. We need to allow that to happen, to be open to change, but also open to pain and what pain can teach us. And I don't mean physical pain, because that would be not yoga, but maybe a pain of the heart, maybe a loss. As we prepare to come out of the pose, bring your left hand under the left shoulder. Inhale as you exhale, push into that palm, unwrap or unthread your other arm, come back to tabletop. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. We're going to take a few rounds of cat-cow here. As we inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the belly, lift the head. Exhale, drop the tailbone, lift the belly, drop the head. Inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the belly, lift the head. Exhale, drop the tailbone, lift the belly, drop the head. One more. Inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the belly, lift the head. Exhale, drop the tailbone, lift the belly, drop the head. Coming back to tabletop, slowly bring your hips towards your heels. Backward cat paw to a seated position with your hips on your heels. We're going into a reclined hero's pose. And this can be a little bit intense. You will need blocks, or you'll need to have a cushion behind you. If you've never done this before, I suggest you try it. So you can use either a cushion, or you can build your blocks at whatever level you like. So this block will go between your shoulder blades, and this block will support your head. And sometimes you have to juggle them around. In fact, most of the time you do. But before we even try that, so in hero's pose, you're bringing your hips towards your heels, and then you're opening up your legs, so that you can actually sit on the mat. Now, for many people, this is already intense enough, and you might need to sit on a blanket because you're stretching here. So your thighs are parallel to the outer edges of your mat. Your shins are also towards the outer edges of your mat. Your feet and your toes are down on the mat as well. Belly button to spine, shoulders back and down. If this is plenty intense for you, whether you're on a blanket, some people even prefer, to be on a block because it can be difficult for their knees. You can also sit on a block and put something underneath your knees and then lean back. You still will get a stretch, and it's different for every single person. So first and foremost, be safe, protect your knees, protect your back. If it's too much on your heels, you'll have to come out of that pose as well. And if you do come out of the pose, then please go into child's pose, which is Balasana. And that's with your head down and your hips towards your heels, and just remain here till we're finished. So preparing to go into Reclined Hero's pose. Excuse me. So hips are over the heels, legs are then pulled out to the side, shins parallel to the outer mat, thighs, the outer thigh is parallel to the outer sides of your mat. Slowly begin to lower yourself down to either your cushion or to your block. So your blocks, you have to adjust, will be in between your shoulder blades, and then your head rests on a block behind you. This probably looks very uncomfortable. If you don't have blocks and you want to use a cushion, if you have one, or a rolled up blanket, you can. Otherwise, stay seated and find a little bit of an edge for your thighs. Palms should be forward. This is a heart opening pose. So you're opening up your chest, but you're also getting a lot of deep stretch in your legs. Again, many people find this intense for their knees, so please protect your knees. Put a blanket underneath of them. Sit up and have a blanket underneath of you. This would be considered a more intermediate pose, so if it's too intense, then you just back away from it. So we're here for just a few more breaths. I didn't want to take a lot of time here, but if you're looking for something very relaxing in the evening, you can use Recline Hero's pose. If you want something even more relaxing, so you're lifting your heart, you set up your blocks the same way, but instead of bending your legs in Hero's pose, your legs will be straight out. So you're actually just laying down with open arms out to the side, palms facing up. And it's a very restorative pose. So if you don't have blocks today, this is something that maybe you want to try at home, or maybe you get yourself some blocks, because it is a very restorative pose. But again, if you're a runner, if you do a lot of exercising, this type of pose is also very, very good for your flexibility in your knees and your legs. So this is one reason I included it today. Just a few more breaths here. Really relaxing, really letting go. To come out of this pose, bring your arms in towards your ribs, elbows to the mat, place your palms on your feet, tuck your chin, and slowly begin to lift yourself up, pushing into your feet. You might have to wiggle. That is It's a very intense pose. So in order to counter that pose, we will move over to one side on our left hip or our right hip, whichever is best for you. Sorry, my timer is not working. Okay. And here we're going to prepare our last pose before we go into Shavasana. So straight legs. It's really great to have a bolster here. For some people, again, it's too intense. So if you want to make it restorative, you place the bolster underneath your knees or a rolled up blanket, whatever you have. Take a nice inhale and slowly fold forward. And allow your head to come toward your knees. Allow your belly to rest on your thighs. And we're here for the last 3 minutes of this pose before we go into Shavasana. And in this pose, as you exhale, allow your low back to just really release and let go. Feet can be splayed. You no longer have to have curled toes to the nose. Deep belly breath in, deep exhale out. Finding your own breath and your own rhythm. Relaxing the legs, the muscles of the jaw, the neck, the shoulders, the arms. Really just release and let go. Wherever your body is in this pose, and you're able just to relax and let go, that's where you're supposed to be. Remember, we're not meant to look like anyone else. We all have different bodies, and they do whatever they need to do as we let go and release. And your next exhale, plant the palms slowly. Backward cat paw your way to seated. Palms come behind you. Rest on your palms and just allow your back to release. Bend your knees, bend your elbows to slowly work your way down on your mat. Coming into Shavasana, straighten out your legs. Reach your right arm over your right head, Reach your left arm over your head. Stretch opposite sides in opposite directions. Raise your arms to the sky. Circle your wrists one way. Circle your wrist the other way. Again, circle your wrist one direction and circle your wrists the other direction. Slowly allow your arms to come down by your sides, palms facing up. Eyes closed, Shavasana. Our final resting pose for today. So in these few moments, you'll have 2 minutes with eyes closed to rest and relax without any speaking, to just become acquainted with how you feel and how your breath feels inside your body. Accepting and loving the wilderness within. Make small movements with your fingers and your toes. Maybe move your wrists and your ankles in opposite directions. Slowly open your eyes and roll your body to one side or the other and find your way to a seated position. Thank you so much for coming today. I hope this practice has been helpful for you. I'll end our practice today with a Sanskrit scripture. Om Lokha Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy, peaceful, and free. Namaste, everybody. Thank you for coming, you guys. If you stayed the entire time, that was awesome.